The Seven of Wands, Netzach. The Sephira of Netzach, meaning victory, is the first Sephiroth on the Pillar of Mercy and is in the world of Yetzirah, which means formation. It is associated with the mental plane of existence, which includes a person's thoughts and decisions immediately prior to manifestation. Sin does not occur in the physical world until a person first makes the mental decision to perform an action. Yeshua stated that if the inside of the cup is clean, the outside of the cup will also be clean, and that a person does not commit adultery without first contemplating it in one's heart. The path connecting Netzach and Malkuth is associated with the Moon Tarot card and represents one overcoming his or her own inherent or carnal desires. Netzach represents the next level of progression, where the person has obtained victory over one's thoughts and desires. You see, victory starts in the mind, and the victory that overcomes the world stems from one's faith. Hypnotherapy and other forms of behavior modifications have long recognized that the modification of one's physical behaviors begins with their mental processes. This coincides with the process of manifestation, described within the four worlds of the Kabbalah. Before anything is manifested into reality, it first begins as a thought or an idea. Once creative efforts is applied to bring the goal about, the idea will start to take shape. By maintaining faith and staying the course, one can manifest his or her goals into a reality and put the plan into action. Faith can move mountains, and Yeshua taught that whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you have already received it and it will be yours. Victory is already ensured, and it has been foreordained within God's providence since the beginning. On the seventh day, God rested, and later declared the Sabbath to be a day of rest. The number 7 represents perfection. Its victory is not obtained through physical exertion, but comes forth from faith and resting in the assurance that the will of God will be accomplished according to His intent. God has a plan for you, and the plan involves prosperity, hope, and a future. Yeshua came so that you might have life more abundantly. If God is with you, no one can stand against you. Romans 8:31. The name of God associated with Netzach is YHVH Sabaoth, which means Lord of Hosts, which is first used in the book of 1 Samuel, when Samuel's mother prays to the Lord of Hosts for a son. 1 Samuel chapter 1, verse 11. Samuel was the son in response to the woman's prayer, and he was the prophet who anointed Israel's first king. He later anointed King David to replace Saul. King David led the armies of Israel to many victories. The Tetragrammaton is mystically interpreted to represent God's will or plan unfolding, and its reference in relation to Netzach is associated with the mental understanding of God's purpose coming to fruition. God's purpose was fulfilled in Samuel, Saul, and David in order to establish an everlasting kingdom for Yeshua as a fulfillment to God's promise to David. The plan first existed as a concept, and working through several people, God's purpose was implemented and manifested into reality. The Hebrew letter Zion. The seventh Sephiroth is associated with the Hebrew letter Zion, which means sword, and has a numerical value of 7. Humans were created on the 6th day, but it was on the 7th day that they were given rest and opportunity to be fruitful and multiply, which is related to the practice of the Sabbath bride. The Hebrew letter Zion is also associated with the 7th path and the Lover's card, which shows Adam and Eve being given liberty and the mental ability to make their own decisions. The Zion, spelled Zayin, Yod, and Nun, it also means penis. The shape of the letter is similar to the Vav, but appears more circumcised. Adding to the prefix Lamed, meaning to, or for, to the word Zion, which means Lamed, Zion, Yod, and Nun, represents sexual intercourse. Enjoying life with one spouse is one of God's many blessings in life. The element associated with Netzach is fire, The connection between the Hebrew word for fire and the word for man and woman was discussed in the Sephir of Chokmah. The color associated with Netzach is green, which represents growth and fruition. The Minor Arcana card used to represent the sevens is the Seven of Pentacles, which shows a man's work almost complete and himself at rest. The Sabbath is a day of rest, and although one pentacle might not yet be in the pile, there will be time to get it later. Life is not completed in a single day. One must pace him or herself and run the race with perseverance. The card also shows a man tilling the land. Man was taking from the earth, and his purpose is to take care of it. The intelligence listed in the 32 paths of wisdom associated with the Sephir of Netzach is occult, which also means hidden. The text reads, "The seventh path is the occult intelligence, because it is the refulgent splendor of all the intellectual virtues which are perceived by the eyes of intellect and by the contemplation of faith." The hidden virtue of Netzach is the mystery of faith, which is the understanding that all things were created according to God's word, with the assurance that what has been predestined will be accomplished.